Welcome to the first in Braniel Below the Surface podcast. First one, numero uno. Who do we get on as a guest? Didn't know what to do. Who's going to be the first person on? I decided had to be one man and one man only. Matthew Long.
Everyone else was busy with it.
Well, you know, it was quite a queue. You were no. Do you know what? It's actually great to have you on because I suppose the first thing I'll do is I'll explain what this podcast's about. There are loads of people we see around the estate who we see in passing a lot of them. We maybe sort of give them a wave or nod the head. We do that quite a lot in Braniel, actually. We do. We're a friendly place. But we don't actually sometimes know too much about the people. So that is an opportunity just to get to know people who we maybe don't get to have conversations with all too much, find out what makes them tick and a wee bit more about them. So, Matthew, you've been roped in to be number one.
Yep, looks like it. Set the standard.
So thank you.
No problem, Dave. No problem. Good to be here.
I like your hat.
Cheers.
He's covering the hair that he hasn't brushed.
I need my haircut, so I had to put the hat on because winter.
So, first question. Who is Matthew Long?
Matthew Long. I'm 40 years old, born and bred in the Braniel.
You?
Lived here, said born and bred. Lived here most of my life. Moved away in my late teens for 7-8 years when I joined the Air Force.
Okay.
But as soon as I come back home, I was straight back to Braniel again living. My daughter's brought her up in the Braniel and I've been here at the Braniel Primary School and been here my whole life. It's sort of part of me. That's what it is.
What was it like growing up in Braniel Estate?
Great. It was a great place. Had loads of, there was so many of us when we were younger. A lot of same people I've seen now, like Darryl and stuff and James Lavery and all those boys. We all grew up together and it was just across the way there at the football pitch. We used to make a wee makeshift nets and we just grew up there playing football.
Jumpers for goalposts?
Jumpers for goalposts. Well, apart from the bonfire time of year, we used to get the pallets and make a net out of the wood. Brilliant. So it did. So great days growing up. So they were in the Braniel, yeah.
And you were obviously like what was there for young ones that, and obviously you've mentioned the football pitch there, but what was there for young ones to do back in those days?
Nothing. The football pitch wasn't there. It was a bowling green back when we were growing up. So there was actually nothing in the state. There was no park behind the shop or anything. So it was a case of make shift of what we can do.
What did you do?
Stuff. Usually around the golf course and got chased by the tractors. So it
doesn't surprise me.
I know, just being wee hoodlums. But no, just again, it was just young lads on a housing estate. Just had to grow up playing football and tennis and doing whatever you had to do. That was it. There was no facilities for us in this estate, so it wasn't.
Was there no like? I suppose even now you look at the things that are going on in the community centre, and obviously up here you have the BB and G.
I had the BB. The BB was the only thing. We actually had youth club the odd time, but I can't really remember much about youth club. But now, good days in the BB, obviously.
Let's dig into that then. Let's go BB days. There's quite a few stories to tell on that.
There is.
I'm sure.
Ask your father-in-law about the trips to Morecambe.
Oh dear.
They were fun, so they were. We used to go the BB camp. We used to stay for a week over in Morecambe and in a church hall. And that was fun. Up to all sorts of mischief like so we were. So
share some stories, go on.
I'm trying to think.
There's one in particular I remember being told something about meant to be back for the bus or something. Was that right? You were meant to be back for the bus and they were waiting on you. It might have been, was it you and someone else?
Oh, is this in Morecambe, was it? Or?
It might have been, was it Morecambe? Can't remember, but there was something about you were meant to be back for a certain time and you may not have arrived back in time. And I think Bobby's had to have a few visits to the BB headquarters, let's just say, because of her behaviour over the years. I remember going, just typical young lads, boredom, but I remember going to the table tennis competition with the BB, and we actually got banned from it for letting the fire extinguishers off during the table tennis competition. But we were just young lads, bored, didn't know what to do, had nothing else to do, and just got up to mischief, because we were used to doing it in the estate, at night, because there was nothing for us to do, so just the way we grew up. Were you a mischief maker?
We were. All of us were, not just me. We're all.
You weren't the ringleader?
Equally. I would say equally. So we can't take the blame on anyone here.
Spreading the blame.
We all had our turn.
I love that. So, teenage years, how would you describe them in the estate? And I suppose for yourself, what did it look like in your teenage years growing up?
It wasn't... We all love the Braniel, but there wasn't anything for us to do in it. There was no facilities, so... Once we got in their teens, we started doing going outside the state a bit for amusement at the weekends, for stuff to do, go up the ice bowl, down the bus down the town or on the Newton Ards Road or run about down there. But growing up in the state, there wasn't much for us. There was good people, the likes of Bobby Curran and the other Bobby and stuff that was taking the BB. And there was a few people tried to do stuff for us in the youth club and stuff, but their hands are sort of tied. We're sort of like a forgotten estate up here, so we were, you know, because we weren't part really mainly in Belfast, the Belfast estates. We weren't part of Dundonald with the Dundonald estates. We're sort of by ourselves, so we're sort of like no man's land. We're forgotten about it. But
Nobody wanted to look after.
No.
That's wicked, isn't it?
It is a bit wicked that way. But it's good to see the kids now getting a lot more facilities, and Lizzie and stuff are doing a great job. And we never had that when we were younger, so
yeah.
The church wasn't as active in the state back then either.
No.
So it wasn't. I would have been in the school, primary school, and the BB, and that was it. It was not. That's the way it is now. You know, with the men's club and different things happening, and obviously how much of the church has been developed. Yeah, it was never like that back in the day. So
what about as you got older? Because this is all about Matthew Long today.
Yep.
And but it is good to hear your views on the estate and all the things that have been going on. But let's talk more about you.
Yes.
You were obviously in the army.
Air Force, yeah, Royal Air Force. Sorry,
Air Force, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And when did you join?
2003. So I was 19, I think it was. Yeah.
And what made you go?
A couple of different things. I was starting to get into a bit of trouble back here when you turn that age. You know, there was at the time obviously there was a lot of trouble down the interface areas. Young lads being bored, we used to get buses down, just go down the interface areas and get up the mischief, you know, because there's nothing else for us to do. Not justifying it, but it's just the rules that led to that way.
Yeah.
I just got into a bit of trouble and stuff. I just thought I'm gonna end up in jail or dead if I stay here.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. So I was going to apply for I remember saying to my dad I was going to apply for the Paras, and he said to me, "So what's the point applying for the Paras?" So there was no, because at the time there was no war. Yeah. I think we just got out of Kosovo. We just finished in Kosovo or Bosnia, so we were, and there was nothing on. He says, "So what's the point joining the Paras? You're just going to train, and see no action for nothing. No, you might as well join a regiment or something where you're going to get a trade.
Yeah.
So when you come out, you've got qualifications behind you." So I thought, good idea. So he says, join the Air Force. I thought, I can't fly planes.
Can't throw a paper airplane.
I can hardly drive a car straight there. I'm in a plane. And, you can apply for other things. So I applied for that. Got accepted as a weapons technician. Okay. And then literally, I think it was 3 weeks after I joined up, we invaded Iraq. So I was like, thanks, Dad. I thought we were going to have war. We captured Saddam in November. I think it was. I joined up in November, in late November 03. December 03, we captured Saddam. So I was like, well, there's Ryan going straight away then. So it's like, I'm going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got away 2003, basic training, trade training. Joined up as a weapons technician, aircraft mechanic. Then went up to Lossiemouth in the north of Scotland.
Yeah.
And I was posted on the 15 Squadron and fast jets, Tornado GR4s. So I was working on those for a couple of years, and then I got they asked me did I want to go to the Falklands or Iraq. They gave me my choice of where I wanted to go from out of area. I thought, I can't deal with penguins and fishing in the cold. Send me to the desert. So I volunteered. I got sent to Basra.
Yeah.
Done my 6 months in Basra.
How was it?
Tough. I was all right for the first couple of weeks.
By the way, if there's anything we're talking about here and you don't want to talk about it, just said
no, that's okay. It's no problem. I don't mind talking about it. Yeah, it was the first few weeks. We'd done all this training about being attacked in rockets. In the first 2 or 3 weeks, there was nothing here. And I thought, it's a Basra myth. There's nothing going on out here at all. No, nothing happening. And then I remember sitting one night playing Championship Manager on the laptop in my wee cave, protected by sandbags and all. I was playing it, and the next minute I heard a siren or an alarm going off, and I went,
oh dear.
That's Israel.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the attack. So I think in my 6 months I had 360 rockets and 140 attacks on our camp. So it was quite bad. My sergeant was actually killed, so he was out there. So it got quite hot for a while. But looking back, I loved it. I would do it again.
Yeah.
I actually loved the team morale, the closeness of a teamwork together and accomplishing stuff. But yeah, it does affect when you get back. But it was good. It was good at the time. I enjoyed it. But I think the difference is when you're in your late teens, 20s, your mentality's different.
You fear nothing.
You don't fear anything, and even like your dopamine, the chemicals in your brain, they haven't changed. Once I got in my 30s, that's when I sort of struggled. Afterwards, and I wasn't struggling with it wasn't depression or anything. Yeah. It was actually the opposite. I used to have scenarios in my head where I'm going to go out and finish this job off. I was never going back to Iraq. I wasn't even in the Air Force anymore.
Yeah.
I always used to think I'm going to go over and finish this job properly. Not that I had anything to regret, but it was just anxiety creating anger, which made me want to go out and see more action, you know, and get involved again, get involved in that type of thing again. And obviously that's why I had to control that with PTSD, but it was never depression or anything, but it was like getting excited to go and do stuff out in Iraq. It's like, that's not normal, because if I've got a daughter now, and if you're growing up, if you're out and say I was out in the town the weekend and someone says something, you just see red and you might not know what happened. So I went and got all that seen too, and it's all good now. Like, but it did, when I come back, it did fall into misuse of drugs and stuff for a while. Like a lot of young people over here.
Like a coping mechanism, was it?
Yeah, COVID actually really. There's a COVID with my granddad passed during COVID.
Okay.
I mean, he was like a father figure growing up to me, so he was very close. And obviously we couldn't see him because he's in a home. We couldn't see him over COVID. It was getting frustrating. And then the PTSD, and then obviously not being working. I just used to get up and just on the drugs. They block things out just so you didn't have to think about it. But you know what it's like. It's a vicious circle. Next day, you wake up again, and it's tenfold on top of you again. So you just start doing it again. It's a snowball effect. So got to the point in 2020, I think. Got in trouble with the police, and it was a wake-up call for me. Okay. So it was a reality check. By the grace of God, I should have been sent to jail. So I should have for what I was doing. Got away with, obviously, probation and stuff, but it affects you later in life with jobs and things,
100%.
which you don't think about when you're younger, you know what I mean? But I suppose I'm 40 now, I have to have to mature at some point and think about the future and what lies ahead of us. So, I got into a bit of trouble, spurred jail, and started to get back on track with things in my life.
I'm just gonna interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem.
How does being a dad influence that?
It does. Whenever Evie was with me, it would have been good. But at the start of COVID, I couldn't even see Evie because she lives obviously down Sydenham with her mum.
Yeah.
So even at the time, I couldn't really see her. I could only speak to her over the phone.
Yeah.
So it was hard. So I didn't really have father duties to do at the time. So that's where it gets you, you know, because I don't have a child today. I don't have a child today. I don't have a child tomorrow. I was going to bend her.
It's tough.
You know what I mean? So it was hard that way, but no, I can't get rid of the child. Can't get rid of her.
It's a good thing, though.
It's a great thing. I love it so now. But I say she's with me all the time now, so it's good that way. And
I just want to tie into that because I think this is a really important part. I obviously know you anyway. Before this isn't, it's not as if we just randomly put you off the street at this podcast. But one thing that I will say about you that I have noticed as I've got to know you is you love being a dad, don't you?
Yeah, love it. Best things ever happened to me. I love her to bit, so it's the best things ever happened to me. Obviously Jesus saved my life, but apart from that, the child saved my life for having her in my life. If it wasn't for her, probably, not that I would have done anything myself, but I probably could have took out much drugs or ended up in jail or done something where I wouldn't be here now. So she did on the straight, to keep me on the straight and narrow at the back of my mind, you know, thinking about it. So it was good that way. But say I got help, I got sorted out. To be honest, I was on probation, and they were very good with me regarding doing mental health work, rehabilitation and stuff, plus then trying to work towards getting jobs, you know, like he's working the CV, disclosure forms, all that. So they've worked very well with me. They are good, and I have appreciated that. But it's strange how things work, because by being on the drugs over COVID, that was my first step to being led to Christ.
Okay.
So it was. So I was in a dark place. So at night time I would have been sitting listening to sleep hypnosis or trying to get to sleep because you were high and you couldn't sleep. And I was listening to sleep hypnosis and stuff. And then one thing listening to that, I was like, there's more to life than this, you know, start thinking. And then it's like, what happens if after this? Or is there, wonder where my granddad is now, you know. I was brought up in a Christian home now. I was brought up, and I was always at BB, and very, very holy family. My granddad, my granny, my mum and dad are all staunch Christians. But I sort of, you end up in the teens or 20s, you don't care.
But you know what's really interesting about that is the amount of stories you hear of people who grew up in really like strong Christian families and really good influence.
Yeah.
where as a teenager or as a young adult or as a young kid, you nearly because, and it's not anything that they have done wrong, because they're trying to lead you the best way they possibly can.
Yep.
But it's almost like, it's like, you know the way you have the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder,
chatting in your ear. Yeah.
But you see it so often.
Yeah.
But as I say, one of the questions I was going to ask you is, obviously we know we've heard about your sort of your journey in the army or in the Air Force and being a dad, and obviously all the troubles going through COVID and the drug issues and stuff. And the question I was going to ask you is what makes you tick, but this is class because you've already got there for me.
Yeah.
Jesus is a big part of your life now.
Yes.
So talk us through this. We want to know about this. This is important.
Well, so I started listening. I was listening to these sleep hypnosis and stuff, and then I started thinking more spiritual thoughts of what else there is out there, and I started listening to like end days prophecies, what's going to happen, just by not by chance, but obviously by the power of the Holy Spirit. I was swayed on to this, but I started listening to different sort of end days prophecies, and I started doing like really in-depth Bible studies on end days prophecies and what's happening. And I say at the start, it's like, oh, there's going to be this, there's going to be a rapture, there's going to be all the different things happening. And I was going around speaking to mum and dad, and they were going, how do you know all this stuff? Mm-hmm. My dad's like, you frustrate me because you actually know more than some Christians, but you just won't get saved. Yeah. You know, man, you're the worst type of person. If you'll be judged worse than anyone else when you get when the end days do come. But I never made that step. I just couldn't make a step, and then I started in.
What was it? Sorry, I'm going to stop you there. Actually, sorry, I don't want to interrupt. But what was stopping you? Was it you? Obviously, there's a level of if you're one of these people that you like to have control of everything you do. You like to be in charge of everything. But was it a control thing?
Sort of like I like to have all my eggs in one basket. So okay. I like to say I know this first, I know that first, and then another thing which I've always thought was, you look at Christians and it looks like they live the perfect lives, but from the outside that's what you think. They're all wee churchgoers, everything's going well with their life, and I thought I need to have my life in that like Christians before I become a Christian. But you can't. Your life can't go like that unless you just hand your life over to Jesus. You know, that's the only way your life will become better. Yeah. And see, to be honest, I have more troubles now as a Christian than I've ever had.
Yeah.
But I've no anxiety. I have no worries because I know it's in God's hands. So I just don't have to worry about it.
So when did the moment come where you were willing to relinquish that control and say, actually, do you know what? No matter how many ducks I try and get lined up here, I'm going to get to a point where I'm never ready.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we did an alpha course. We ran an alpha course there not so long ago, and one of the things is you almost have to step inside to see rather than to stand on the outside and look in.
Yeah, 100%.
To get a full picture.
You do. I started going again, not by chance. There was a couple of boys that I would have been friendly with when I was involved with paramilitaries.
Okay.
It's no new thing. People know who I was around here at the time. I was obviously involved with paramilitaries, whatever. But and it's not by chance. Again, there was myself and the Braniel. There was another one of my friends from Ballybean and another one from down in Ravenhill direction and one from Newton Road. All started going to church at the same time.
Okay.
God's put us in all these people in my place and me in their place and in their places on part of the journey. We started going to church. So we started going to the wee mission up in Ballybean. And it just spoke to me. And then Joseph, the pastor, Joseph Canaway, is a good friend of mine now and really nice guy.
Yeah.
And on the 25th of February last year, I come back after one of the mission meetings and I had a gospel track and I read it and I thought, I have to do this. It was 25th of February this year, so just thought, I have to do this now. That's when I give my life to the Lord to him.
Do you know what's a really funny story? I'm going to share this story because I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
But and this is not me. I'm not when I say this. It's nothing to do with me when I say this. If you know what I mean. But it was really funny because you see the week that you got saved.
Yeah.
The Sunday night.
Yeah.
I was sitting in here in the little office out the back.
Yeah.
And I was reading through the Bible, and I was reading about the parable of the lost sheep.
Yeah.
And I sent you a message on Messenger, and I don't know to this day if you've opened it yet.
I don't know.
But it doesn't. But it was really. I sent you that message on the third. It was a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there and I'm going. I was reading this and I was like, "You've got to send this to Matthew."
Yeah. Appreciate that.
But
I can't even think.
But it was so interesting how it played out.
I know,
because I had sent that through. It was on the Thursday, and I didn't know what it was for. It was just I just got a real sense of This is for Matthew today. And it was so funny though because I said I don't even think you've opened it yet. I think it's no, but it's okay. But it was that Sunday. It was that Sunday.
That was Sunday night.
It was that Sunday night.
Sunday 25th of February. It was Sunday night. I came back and I got saved. But I think as well as a youth in Northern Ireland, I think we've got our political problems.
Yeah.
But even at churches, we've had many denominations and stuff over here, and it's just we've got our own ones like the Free Peas and all the Peas just made up. Well, obviously formed themselves, but I think in Northern Ireland we were used to fire and brimstone type preaching. So when my generation got to sort of their teens, I was like, I don't have to listen to that anymore. Yeah. And just turned away from it because it was just. And I'm not disagreeing with fire and brimstone.
For some people, it'll
preaching,
work.
And it has to be done at Sunday. It does have to be done as well. But not when you're dragged to church every week and you're listening to it. You're just like, I can't be bothered with this. I can't be bothered with this. I don't need this. I just want to go enjoy my life. I'm a young lad, and I think that's why I rejected it for so long. Because like you're going to burn to hell. You're not. You need to be saved or no, in your face. And you never really seen. I remember growing up and you never really seen happy sermons in church.
No.
So you never seen. It was never about the love or joy of
turn a burn
of Jesus and the Gospels. It was always about you're going to hell. Yeah. You don't turn around. It's like, what's good about being a Christian? What's there to look forward to if this is what's
you're only promoting the negative, rather than actually promoting the positive.
And people do need to know that as well, but obviously you need to try and
balance. Balance.
You need to get a happy medium where people are going to listen to you as well, not just reject it on first sentence. So I think it was once I started looking into it, and then I started listening to sort of sermons on the Gospels and I've started following a few different American preachers who are very good. Guy Skip Heitzig. He's very, very good and explaining things well. There's another one, Pastor John Barnett, Dr. Barnett. He's very good at explaining things, and they were explaining things in the Bible and biblical times. And it was like opening up in a storybook, picture book, when they explained it in the layman's terms and how he converted things from the Bible into what it means modern, modern stuff and stuff. And it all started making sense then, and that's when it led me to Christ. And I was saying a lot of us boys were all brought together at the same time, and it's like, there's something in this. This isn't just a coincidence. No. The boys they've all stepped back from the paramilitaries or whatever, and have all been brought to the same church. How's that happened? It's the power. It's a work of the Holy Spirit. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. How has your life changed since? Like, you sort of touched on it earlier with saying, I'm much calmer. I'm much more at peace with things.
More love and joy. But the temptations are stronger than ever for falling back in your own ways, doing your own things, because the devil's just on your shoulders chirping in. You don't need this. You don't need that. You can do this here. You can do that still. And it's harder that way, but of peace, so it's hard to sort of explain. Inside me, and I'm a lot more peace and happy, and well, I know where I'm going when I die. Yeah. But the temptations are a lot stronger. They are so. But again, spend time in the Word and pray, and the temptations go away. So.
Here's a question. This podcast is all about people in the Braniel, and people are going to have different stories. Not everybody who's on the podcast is going to be a Christian, but it's part of your life, so we've got to hear about it, and we celebrate it, obviously. But what is your prayer for this estate? You're obviously part of it. You've grown up in it.
Yep.
You've seen how life has changed since you were young, right the way through to where you are now. Like, what is your prayer for this estate?
Honestly, when me and my dad were going to Ballybean, we've seen the work being done in Ballybean, and then my wee church, I go down at East Point at Tullycornet, and I could see the amount of people from the States that go to those churches, and the churches are packed out. And I'd love to see the same type of revival being done in this estate. So I'd really love to see the same revival, whether it's amalgamated churches or whether it's
whatever, some
sort of a gospel rally as well to try and get people in. But there's a massive revival on in East Belfast regarding coming to Christ. But Ballybean and Tullycornet seem to have a lot going on, and I would love to see it happen here a lot more. So it would.
I think we're seeing glimpses of it as well. Like
we are starting to see it.
I feel like every sort of week I'm hearing about, oh, did you hear about this person on?
And we are lately. Have seen a lot of people coming, and I think we're starting. We're maybe a year or two behind Ballybeen Tullycorn because they've had the work put in previous to yourself at Braniel and the other churches and stuff. But it's starting to come together now, and I'd just love to see a big revival here as well because there's a lot of good people in this estate, and we'd like to see them perish, basically.
No,
like to see them
100%. So we've got your prayer for the estate. We're going to finish up with this one.
Yep.
What's a prayer for you? What do you need? What do you want? What's going on in life that you're willing to share that we can be praying for you for? Or maybe if someone's watching and maybe they're not there yet, but they would like to, I don't know, hope something for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Need a new job. That would be the first one.
That's fair.
I need a new job. I just pray that I grow in my spirituality, grow in my faith, and just continue to do as I'm doing, growing as I'm going. In a steady job, I pray that I get a steady job, bit of work, just create a more happy life for me and the child, basically. That's the main thing, so yeah.
Brilliant. Mate, honestly, like, couldn't have asked for a better first person to come on. And thank you for sharing, because, you know, there is some of the stuff I know, a lot of guys I know who have been in the army and the Air Force and things, and sometimes sharing those stories can be quite tough.
It can, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would have moments where it is quite tough, but I feel like I have to tell people because
it's part of you. It's
part of me, and it's part of my journey of where I've got to now. So can't leave it out.
No,
simple as it's made me the person I am now. So I don't think if it wasn't for the Air Force, those experiences, I might be dead and unsaved or in jail and unsaved. So the way I look at it, it's part of my life, and I have to tell people. So
great. Well, thank you.
No worries, Nate.
And
pleasure.
Look forward to hearing what else happens as in the next months and years. As
we'll keep in contact on Wednesday nights and stuff. So
100%. But thank you. And if you have any suggestions of people we could invite onto the podcast, we've obviously a line we've got. So if you're watching this and you have someone in the estate who you would like to know, you know, you pass the shop and I would like to know more about them, let them know they can be on the podcast.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have them on. But listen, thanks, mate.
No worries, Dave.
Catch up soon.
Take care. Thank you, mate. Cheers.